Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a little bit of an overview of the EDDA Somatology Laboratory weapons. This will be part 1. We'll have part 2 next Saturday. But basically I'm doing this just because the instance is releasing on the 5th of December. You actually get about level 4 weapons for each class, well except the expanded ones. They're level 170 requirement, and all of them have 2 card slots except one with 3. First, let's take a look at the RUNE weapons. Obviously, War Portal's favorite child at the moment. 3 weapon options. You have the Valar, Argent Blanco, and the Vernon. First, with the Valar. Basically, you get bowling bash damage plus 30%, attack plus 4 per refine rate. At plus 9, you get minus 1 second cooldown for ignition break and bowling bash. And at plus 11, you get, the weapon becomes indestructible and additional 20% bowling bash damage. The weapon also has 280 attack. I know it looks a little bit lackluster, to be fair, but a little bit later we'll be talking about the Goral Crown, and that should actually make it a lot better. Next, the Argent Blanco, brandish spear damage plus 30%, attack plus 4 per refine rate. At plus 9, you get minus 1.5 seconds of cooldown for 100 spears, and at plus 11, you get additional 20% damage for brandish spear. Now, it also has 200 attack, and for me, it actually has a pretty good combo with the Goral Crown. I've actually been waiting for this for a while now, possibly 2 years, and I've already made a build around it, so hopefully you'll be seeing a video for it possibly next year. Now, the third weapon we have for the RUNE Knight is the Vernon, attack plus 5%, long range damage plus 1% every refine rate. At plus 9, you get additional 30% damage for Clashing Spiral and Sonic Wave. And at plus 11, you get another cooldown reduction of 1.5 seconds for Sonic Wave. Attack 300 as well. The one thing I really like about the Vernon is obviously the 650 weight is really going to carry well with the Clashing Spiral damage, but at the same time, Sonic Wave actually has a 2-second cooldown, which means you have that half second left of cooldown. It's actually going to make it a lot more spammable, and I'm sure this is going to be an easier build to do for the RUNE Knight, to be fair. Now, with the Goral Crown, it's actually already in the server, it's in the database, and it was released in July 27, 2001 in the Kachua Keys. Basically, it combos with all 3, the Valar, the Argent Blanco, and the Vernon. Attack plus 20 per 2 refines. At plus 7, you get attack speed plus 10%. Plus 9, you get 15% long range damage, and at plus 11, you get additional 10% damage to all sizes, which is actually pretty solid given given its stats. Even though during its time when it was released, it didn't really have much of an effect because obviously the Somatology Laboratory wasn't released yet, but the stats itself were actually pretty good at the time of its release. Now, with when you're comboing it with Valar, you get additional 10% critical damage and ignition break damage plus 12% per refine rate. So imagine if it's you upgrade your Valar to plus 10, you're getting an additional 120% ignition break damage. Same goes for the Argent Blanco. Basically additional 10% damage per refine rate of the weapon for 100 spears, obviously. And then cooldown reduction of half a second. This is actually pretty good because if you think about it, 100 spears has a 3-second cooldown, and Argent Blanco already lowers it by 1.5 seconds and another half a second from Gold or Crown. That leaves you with 1 second of cooldown left. Now, if you actually have something like 200 spiral mods on your automatic armor, that effectively lowers the cooldown by another half second. So you only have that half second, making it a little bit more spammable rather than actually running YSF Ring and RUNE Greaves and all that other stuff that's probably way too expensive anyway, you know, to make 100 spears work. Now for the Vernon, you get ACD reduction minus 10%. This is really good. Sonic wave damage plus 10% per refine rate of the weapon. So at plus 10, you get additional 100% damage for Sonic Wave. Now Goral Crown, like I said, is already in the server, but at the same time, a number of Goral Crowns in the server are probably a lot lower. So expect prices to go up. I know when I bought my Goral Crown, I only got it for about 30 million. Now it's going for way over that, plus you have to refine it as well. And it is a level 170 required headgear, and only for Rune Knights, so that makes it a little bit more complicated for you know, for a lot of people that's probably looking for this. I expect the prices will definitely go up even further because of the announcement of the Somatology Laboratory being released on the 5th of December. Next, we are going to look at the Royal Guard weapons, the Farthezan, or Farthezan, I guess, Harv, and Fortridge. First, the Farthezan, I guess, I don't know how to pronounce it. 130 attack, M attack plus 180. You also get additional 30% damage for Gloria Domini, and minus 1% variable casting time per refine rate of the weapon. At plus 9, you get additional 30% damage for Genesis Ray, and at plus 11, you get 20% damage for both Gloria Domini and Genesis Ray. This thing is actually pretty straightforward in a sense, just because you know, a lot of players have been, I think they've been using Light Blade for the Genesis Ray build, but yeah, Farthezan is, or whatever, would most likely be another staple for this build. Next, the Harv, rapid smiting plus 40% damage, long range damage plus 1% every refine. At plus 9, you get additional 30% damage for shield press, and at plus 11, you get 20% damage for both rapid smiting and shield press with 210 attack. This is actually meant for shield builds, obviously. And I actually have another Royal Guard in the works, supposedly for the shield build, and this has actually come out at the perfect time because I'm exactly going to make a rapid smiting and a shield press build. So yeah, hopefully we're going to see that video by next year. Next, the Fortridge, probably one of my favorites out of the three of the Royal Guard weapons. A lot of the RG players play Cannon Spear and Overbrand, and you know, attack plus 5%, minus 1% after cast delay per refine rate. That's actually pretty good, especially for the build. At plus 9, you get plus 20% cannon spear damage, and at plus 11, you get an additional 20% overbrand damage with 205 attack. This actually complements Old Casket of Protection really well, because Old Casket from the Nightmare Biolabs headgear has the additional cannon spear damage and overbrand damage. So this will definitely be a welcome change to a lot of Royal Guard players. And obviously, with the Somatology Laboratory weapons, they all have a combo headgear, not just the gold crown, but for the Royal Guard ones, there is the Trial Diadem. It's not yet in the server. As of this upload, November 25, 2023. Hopefully it comes out in the next OCPs or Kachua, because there's actually some pretty good bonuses for the Somatology Lab weapons. But obviously we're not going to talk about that because it's not implemented, so it's just going to be a waste of time. If you really want to have a look at what they do, you can pause the video, or I will also have the link on the description. Next, the Guillotine Cross weapons. Agudo Filo. It's actually Spanish for sharp edge, I believe. Yeah. Ripper Cross and the Judgment Slasher and Repent Slasher. Now with the Agudo Filo, I don't know how to pronounce it. The sharp edge. Okay, let's just say it. 5% critical damage, attack +4 per refine rate. At +9, you get 15% damage to all sizes, physical, obviously. At +11, you get, the weapon becomes indestructible, an additional 7% attack. Attack is 270 for the weapon. It does feel a little bit lackluster. However, I will show the headgear that combos with this, and you'll actually understand why the headgear really complements it very well. Next, the Ripper Cross, attack +5%, long range damage +1% every refine. At +9, you get additional 30% damage for Rolling Cutter. At +11, you get +20% damage for Cross Ripper Slasher. And it's attack 250. Stats are really solid. This can definitely compete with the other Katars in the server that are running, being used for Rolling Cutter or Cross Ripper Slasher. I know a lot of Katars are already available in the game for both RC and CRS, but with the combo headgear, once it's released, I'm sure this is going to find a lot of utility with a lot of Guillotine Cross players. And last for the GX weapons is basically a combo. The Judgment Slasher and the Repent Slasher. Both main hand and offhand weapons. Judgment Slasher has attack 195. Repent Slasher has attack 100. And all the bonuses only work if both are equipped. You can't just use one of them. Expect it to work because they're not really going to get the bonuses. So when both are equipped, you get additional 40% damage for Meteor Assault and Soul Destroyer, which is actually pretty good, especially with the current meta with Record of Thief Volume 1 and 2 that's already out. You also get attack +8 per 2 refines of the per 2 of the sum of the refine rates. So yeah, it's basically if it's +20 you get whatever. At +16 you get cross impact damage and counter slash damage +20%. At +18 you get additional 12% attack percentage, and at +20 you get additional 20% damage for both Meteor Assault and Soul Destroyer. Now the Twin Crown is the combo headgear for the GX weapons. At the moment it's currently not available in the server, it's not yet in the database, but hopefully it's going to be released because you actually get some pretty good combos with these weapons. Actually mostly all of them, to be fair, but I won't discuss them a little bit any further here just because they're not released. But if you do want to have a look, I will have a link on the description, or you can just pause this part of the video. Next is the Shadow Chaser weapons, Jack the Knife, Rapid Fire, and Platinum Dagger. Now I'm really excited for 2 of these, except the bow. Honestly, except the bow. Now with Jack the Knife, you get additional 40% damage for backstab. I haven't really used that skill. Attack +4 per refine rate. At +9, you get additional 30% damage for Fatal Menace. At +11, you get -10% SP consumption for Fatal Menace. This is actually pretty solid in a sense. I know there is the Ghoul of Teeth that you can use with the Demon's Familiar, but the Jack the Knife actually has some pretty good bonuses when it comes to comboing it with its headgear. Next is Rapid Fire. Long range damage +10%, attack +4 per refine rate. At +9 you get 20% triangle shot damage. +11 you get additional 15%. So all of it is triangle shot. Obviously, it is pretty good even at attack 185, but you know, there's still the Gula gun, you know, that also combos with the Demon's Familiar. Both the Ghoul Teeth and the Gula gun actually work really well with the Demon's Familiar, and it's really hard to pass on that extra 200 attack and 200 M attack, to be honest. Next is a dagger that I'm actually pretty excited about, the Platinum Dagger. Attack 150, M attack 180, M attack plus 5%, M attack plus 4 per refinance. So it's all M attack, most of the bonuses. At plus 9, you get additional 15% magic property damage for fire, water, and earth. Would have been nice if there was a wind option there, but yeah, just the 3, I guess. Plus 11, you get the chance to gain 100 M attack and magical damage to all sizes plus 30% for 10 seconds. This is actually pretty good, especially for a auto bolter shadow chaser. You know, once you can actually tune it properly, this would actually work really well. Only problem I have with it is because it only has 2 slots, so the less amount of cards that you can use to combo for what's that headgear? Lunar Rainbow. Yeah, that's it. And with the Shadow Chaser weapons, you get Gold Crown. It's not yet in the server. Like I said, hopefully we get it in the next OCPs or Kachiwa keys. But it is a level 170 required headgear just for the Shadow Chaser. And as of November 25, 2023, this upload, yet it's still not in the server. So yeah, I'm just, you know, if you want to have a look, just pause the video or just click on the link on the description. Next are the mechanic weapons. Really interesting. I've actually been looking at these, and there's a lot of potential builds to actually go for. Golden Wrench, Engine Pile Bunker, and the Maxi Spanner. So for the Golden Wrench, it's indestructible, attack plus 5%, attack plus 4 per refine rate. At plus 9, you get additional 20% damage for Power Swing and Axe Boomerang. At plus 11, you get additional 15% damage for both Power Swing and Axe Boomerang. And attack is 220. I'd actually like to test this with the Axe Boomerang mechanic, just because right now I think I'm running the Illusion Poleaxe. But yeah, this will definitely be a good change to that build synergy. Next, the Engine Pile Bunker, still indestructible. Vulcan Arm damage plus 10%, plus 1% attack speed per refine rate of the weapon. And at plus 9, you get 15% additional damage for Arm Cannon and Knuckle Boost. Knuckle Boost is actually pretty good. Plus 11, you get 15% more damage for Vulcan Arm. It's a mace with attack 450. Like, Jesus, it's 450 attack. But the stat block is a little bit spread out. You know, Vulcan Arm, Knuckle Boost, Arm Cannon. Yeah, it's I actually have a Vulcan Arm and Knuckle Boost mecha build coming out in 2024. It would actually be really nice to incorporate this. I'm just gonna have to find a way to fix the synergy. Next, the Maxi Spanner. This one I've been waiting for a while. Indestructible, physical and magical damage from small and medium enemies minus 10%. Attack plus 4 per refine rate. At plus 9, you get Axe Tornado and Lava Flow cooldown reduction of minus 1 second. And at plus 11, you get additional 15% Axe Tornado damage. 340 attack as well, so it's actually pretty big. You know, macro Axe Tornado boys are actually going to be happy about this, but it doesn't have a lot in terms of I guess Axe Tornado damage bonuses, but you know, when equipped with a headgear, yeah, you actually get some pretty good damage bonuses. I actually wish that the headgear would be implemented before the end of the year. So the combo headgear for the mechanic weapons is the bull crown. You can pause the video to sort of have a read at the stats. Otherwise, I will have them linked on the description. As of November 25, this upload, it is not yet in the server. Last for this video is the genetic or geneticist weapons, the Estall, coolant injection, and the genie rod. So first, the Estall spore explosion cooldown -1 second, attack +4 per refine rate. Spore explosion damage +30% at +9, and at +11 you get additional 20% spore explosion damage. Attack 195. I don't really know much about the spore explosion build. I'm sure there's probably somebody in the comments who plays this and would, you know, hopefully explain it a little bit better, but it's just not a build that I've experienced, and yeah, it's a little bit weird to me, but I'm sure it's pretty good. Next, the coolant injection. Guys, this is probably one of the most valuable weapons in the list, and we're only in part 1. It's indestructible, long range damage +10%, attack +1% per refine rate. This is probably the only weapon, if not one of the weapons, that actually has the attack percentage per refine rate out of all the Somatology Lab weapons. At +9 you get card cannon damage +25%. At +11 you get long range damage +15%. So you're basically getting 25% long range damage either way. Attack 210. It's a mace. I don't even know what to say. Great stats for card cannon, to be honest. Like I said, will most likely be the most sought after weapon in the instance or in the whole update. And I'm sure a lot of geneticists are actually going to run this. I'm actually even going to run this. You'll probably see a video next year around this. And last, the genie rod. Still indestructible. Crazy vines damage +20%. Attack +4 per refine rate. You get 30% crazy vines damage at +9, and -2 seconds cooldown for crazy vines at +11. Attack is 195. Looks like a pipe, really. Sounds like Stoner's Paradise, if you know what I mean. Yeah, because crazy vines, technically the alternate name is crazy weed. So, you know, just read between the lines, I guess. And the headgear that combos with the genetic weapons is the Taurus Crown. Still not implemented in the server as of this upload. You know, you can pause the video to look at the stats, but it has some pretty good bonuses for the weapons, to say the least. But yeah, I also have them linked on the description below. So yeah, if you want to do a little bit more research, you can go to the description and click the links. And so guys, that ends part 1 of the EDDA Somatology Laboratory weapons. So we touched up on the weapons for the RUNE Knight, the Roller Guard, the Guillotine Cross, Shadow Chaser, the Mechanic, and the Geneticist build. I'm sure obviously you guys can do the math on what weapons will be left for part 2. That will be coming out next Saturday. But yeah, you know, this is basically just an overview of what to expect in December 5. The weapons that are available, really good meta changing weapons, to be honest, and we're gonna look at a lot more good weapons on part 2. So hopefully you guys liked the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in part 2.